Hello everyone, Pennyman, we're back with another video. It's Motor Monday once more, and this time we actually have it on time instead of it being on Saturday. But I'm still working on getting caught up with the performance track videos and all that, so we'll get all that finished and relatively soon, and we will be getting to our regularly scheduled program. So yes, back to our regularly scheduled program very soon. So without further ado, I present to you the 1947 Burnside Special. It has a 266 cubic inch V8, and it's with the Belasco City Police Department. It's a it's a pretty good powered car for the 40s, especially since it was labeled off like a family. Well, not yeah, it was modeled off a family car. So, yeah, for the 40s, this is a really good car. It's not too fast, but it didn't really need to be fast in the city. So, actually, we'll head over to the city right now. So, where are we? Oh, wow. All right, we have a ways to go to get to the city, so we'll probably have to cut. But anyway, so we'll do a quick look at the engine. You can hear how old it is just from the start, or just from the things moving around. Ooh, that's pretty old too. But anyway. 266 cubic inch V8. It has a 2-barrel carburetor on it. It's got the filter right here. It doesn't really have too much else. I don't know what type of engine block it has. I'm pretty sure it's a forged engine block, so it has around 180, 84, 85-ish pounds of torque, and it has around 100 horsepower, so it's pretty good for what it is. And it's definitely a lot better than in terms of like cylinder count than the last one, but I think this thing is actually slower, believe it or not, than the i6 we had last time, but you know, that's 20 years newer. But anyway, let's get back to this and let's start this thing up and then get on our way. Oh, I was getting worried it wasn't going to start. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Alright, let's close this. Put it in first, and off we go. The handbrake is also very cool, although this is standard on all the Burnsides. Anyway. Oh, I think we stalled it for a second. We're doing... Are we in second? Okay. So first off, let me just turn this volume off, or volume down. Ah, here we are. So 188 feet of torque and 104 horsepower. So that's pretty good. Let me just turn this down. So yeah, this was before the real heyday of uh of V8s being all cool like this. Well, at least compared to modern day. Like, you know, the 60s, was when the, and 50s too, part of the 50s, and very early 70s. That was all when the V8s were the best thing you could possibly find in terms of performance. But so this was, yeah, this was when the V8 was still really good, and it still outperformed the i6 in terms of horsepower and torque and all that, but not necessarily compared to the vehicles we have nowadays that weren't as good. Yeah, I forget what I made this vehicle for. I think this was for my scrapped evolution of Belasco City Police Department video that eventually came out as a I think, yeah, stressed out, so it came out, like, I think a couple months later. Or whatever it was, so... I think I also showcased it on the channel. I was gonna do, like, something with that there, like a showcase, but... it was gonna be, a lot more, and the idea was a lot more complex than it was right now. It was gonna be, like, I put all of the, like, specifications of the vehicle on like a whole, like, list, like on the highway patrol video. So, and then I realized, hey, that's a bit much for what I'm doing. So I moved it a little bit. So now it's just the concept of it now is, and the usual strategy or plan rather is just I talk about the cars. You know, there's not really that much of a script I have to it, but we kind of just, you know, I talk about the car, I start the engine, I, you know, tour the interior, which we will do in a quick second. But anyway, that's about it. That's how this car was, like, done. The history of the car in Velasco City, I think I put it somewhere. It was like, right now, Velasco City Police from, like, all the way up until the late 1970s, up until that point, it's all based off of the LAPD. And then further beyond that is going to be from the 80s and onward, that's going to be your BCPD. So that's why in the 70s, during that Velasco City playlist, you saw black and whites, and then you would see the 80s and 90s being, well, actually, no. Yeah, the 80s being a lot different, so mainly it. So let's see if we can... let's see if we can, while we're going 80 miles an hour, or 70 miles an hour, yeah, that's 70. We're gonna look around a little bit. So let's just get into relative camera. Oh no, that's the clutch. Don't want to screw that up. And also the real engine revved to 3,800 RPM. So I think realistically it would go up to 4,000. But that's what it revved at. That's where it got its horsepower at. So anyway, this is the back of it. It's more of a station wagon, but it kind of looked like the lifeguard body of the 40s, as it was apparently called. So I guess it looks similar at least. And I think it has pretty much, that was our... Oh man, can we do a detour? Actually, yeah, we can go through here. But what are we doing? How are we just... Oh, hell. There we go. Hope that wasn't... Okay. Let me just make sure this thing doesn't have power steering on it real quick, because most of these cars, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they're on them, and sometimes they don't. Okay. Limited steering box. I would prefer not to do that. Steering wheel. And it obviously has steering. Very good, very good. Quick ratio. I think that's somewhat power steering, or inside that, or just makes it, the turn ratio is a lot less, so it's easier to drive, or easier to turn, while making it easier to drive. This car does have very good engine braking, though, I will say that much. Anyway, yeah, but, let's go back to the history, I guess. There's not really too much to it, besides, Velasco City Police wanted, another car that would do it. That would do their job. They were trying to... I don't really know what they would have from, like, 40 to... Well, yeah, after the 30s, because they had the Bruckle 9 30s. I can probably figure something else out with that. But anyway, then these were used up until probably... Well, these were bought from 46 to 48, and these were bought... Please tell me that's first count. Okay, yep. Anyway, they were bought from 46 to 48, and I would think most of them made it up until probably 1956, I want to say. That's when they got another large fleet of Burnsides. But anyway, that's kind of the lore. And the only reason why I'm doing the lore is because I did the somewhat of the lore last video with the last Motor Monday with the, well, no, 2 Motor Mondays ago. Anyway, the with the Legrand. But yeah, that's about it. Not really much else to this car besides it being kind of cool, and it's 40s. It's pretty much your stereotypical 40s American car. I don't even know what your standard, your stereotypical American police car would be, but I would think that this is your standard 1940s American Ford car. Yeah, I think that's decently fair take, because most of the cars I see are these, with like the woody station wagons, stuff like this. It's that type of stuff. Alright, we're almost at the city, and I am almost going off the road. We'll bring it down to here. I think we just went over the RPM. Very good, very good. Thankfully, this thing is tough, and I guess it doesn't give me any rev warning. So either I'm not revving this thing, or so either this thing has plenty more to give, or it's just kind of not giving me much more. So I don't know if the rev limiter, actually, yeah, the rev limiter, like anything like dangerously over the rev. Oh man. There we go. All right, let's get out of first person. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think whoa! I didn't realize that we were, bro, we're overheating. I didn't realize that. Did we bust something? I don't remember this thing overheating, and I had it on the test track the performance track for a long time. Oh no. Was that? Are we backfiring? I would hope not, but I guess we are. Oh, yeah, that's backfiring, I think. You guys hear it too? I don't know what that is. I don't think that's backfiring. Huh. But we are here. We made it in one piece, and I have an idea looking at that. So, looking at that big hill, so we made it here in pretty good speed, and we gotta get to know the top speed of this thing and the 0 to 60. I think, in real life, the top speed was around 80 miles an hour, but you could push it up to 90 if you really tried. So, let's test that theory. So, this is, here we are. I also turned on the lights. It's not really anything special. It doesn't have the police lights on it, unfortunately. I don't know if we can give it that actually. Oh no. All right, so I guess not. It's completely fine. Anyway, let's get going. So, like I said, in real life, the 0 to 60 as well was 0 to 60 was, I wanted to say it was 20 something seconds. I think somehow it's a lot less than that here, but anyway, let's try it. There we go. Okay, so 17.33 seconds. Okay. So that, I was power shifting last time, so that could explain why, because, you know, it didn't, that wasn't really a thing if you didn't want to screw your transmission up. Actually, you know what it is, actually? You double clutch, that's what it is. So let's see if we double clutch every single gear. So we can't do that here, but I'm pretty sure if you double clutched every gear, it would probably bring it up to that 20 or 21 second mark. If I had to guess. But anyways, we're not gonna do that. Of course, you can only go 30 miles an hour with this thing, so it's a bit well, in first gear, so it's kind of hard to cruise around when you're going uphill like this. Let's see. So we'll get into a police chase with this thing. We'll probably bring one of the hot rods out. Oh, no. Okay, so thankfully first gear is alright in terms of keeping the torque up. Some. It's 28 miles an hour, we're going up 29. Seconds. Okay, so I guess when the engine's under a lot of stress like this, it starts overheating. Okay, so there's the coolant. Anyway, let's go down and have a little bit of fun before we get into the police chase. Oh. We've got, so that was 91, I think that was 91 miles an hour. So, yeah, 91. So that's, ow. So that's the top speed of this thing. It's not catching much. I don't think... and even that. So that's the theoretical top speed. So it was actually around closer to 80 miles an hour. So not good, not good, not good, not good. Anyway, let's find us a worthy opponent to start chasing. Actually, you know what we haven't brought out? We haven't brought out a fellow Burnside. So we'll do this. We'll also have to get to these things very soon. Thunder Row, we might do that. The car from that. Port of entry. Oh, I have a lot of stuff here. What is a utility sedan? Is my question. Oh, so it's quite literally for utilities. It's yeah, bare bones. I get you. I get you. Oh no. Let's see. Alright, we'll put it up against something decent. So this is 94. Yeah, we'll do this. It's 1 mile higher than this. So what engine is this? Oh, it's an i6. Okay, so if we don't beat the i6, this is gonna be embarrassing. So let's just bring both cars down. Alright, put that down here. And we will see just how well it handles. I'm sure this thing would fare a lot better if we were in Velasco City on the West Coast map, but we're not, and we're here. So, I guess keep that in mind, I guess. Alright, we'll just have this flee right here, and like I said, we have no siren because the beacon light would not necessarily be accurate to the time. So I guess we're going up against this guy. Nothing but this thing. No siren. Remember, it was either like before they added all these spotlights and stuff like that, it was either the beacon light or nothing. But now that we have the flashers, you know, people who do music videos like me have no issue with, you know, having no sound. Alright, well, we'll go backwards, because why not? See how good this thing is off-road. I don't think it'll be good off-road, but yeah, well. Because clearly this guy has a bit of an issue with driving on the right side of the road. Okay, so first off, route. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh no, that's reverse. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, so like I said, we're power shifting right now. The game allows that, but in real life, that's no. This car is built for it, which this thing would not be built for it. It's definitely fun to drive this thing off-road, especially with, like, you know, no power steering, so. Actually, it'd be fun to. Of course, he's overheating. So this is one of the things that sometimes people can forget about automobile history. Is that police cars were not generally the fastest cars. Well, no, yeah, they weren't always the fastest cars, and you know, they weren't necessarily always the the best and brightest, you know, but they could keep up with most of these fast cars, and they would actually outlast them because their radiators were a lot better. That's one of the first things that got better on a Ford, or not Ford, on like police cars in general. The radiators, they got better cooling. Whoa, boy! Oh, suck. Oh, that sucks. Let's see what damage. Wow. So, I think that if I had a newer car, it would have been a lot more of an issue, but this thing is fine. Although we are overheating, contrary to what I was just saying, ironically enough. So clearly this guy needs his risk turned down. Okay, so he's overheating. We're just gonna... Oh, boy. Because I want to have a worthwhile chase here. So we'll just get a... We'll just get a Brooklyn line. So, we won, but not by much. Yeah, you know, we'll be chasing a couple in a roadster or something like that. Yeah, deluxe roadster, here we are. I'm sure we'll have a good time. Lake bed jalopy. Honestly, having like a roadster like this would be pretty cool. Anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to random and I'm gonna set his risk up a little bit so he is a little bit less about himself. Because, you know, he's a greaser, you know, he's a hot rodder type of thing. Or a roadster, or so. Okay, so we're back on the road. We're making pretty good progress, although, you know, we have twice the horsepower he does, so it would make sense. We gotta be careful of our engine temperature by the looks of it. Alrighty, I've seen enough. Let's see if we can build up enough speed so that we can ram this guy off the road. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so we're not... What is that? Oh, that's the radiator being damaged. Okay. So let's see how he's doing. Alright, let's get out of the car. Alrighty, have a shotgun to your face, get out. That was nice. But anyway, let's see if we can take this thing to top end. So yeah, 93 miles an hour is the absolute top speed. Because usually when I look at the top speeds, I'm looking more at the like on automobile catalog, which is usually what I do. If I'm doing much else, usually I'm doing like automobile catalog, or if I'm doing something else other like that, or sometimes I look at actual genuine catalogs. So I found a huge huge suppository of Ford police cars, and I found a lot of Chevy and Chrysler as well. And that was pretty much all that was around, to be fair. Because Ford, Dodge, and Chevy were all the main competitors. I don't know if GM had much else in the way of police cars. But they were pretty good. I can't really think of much else besides, and yeah, Buick didn't have, actually no, Buick had some police cars. Just not many. I think they gave CHP like 70 or 80 of the cars that they had. And that was the first Motor Monday we ever did. Oh no! Yep, brakes ain't gonna save us here. How is our windshield not cracked? Ah, there it is. Alrighty. Just fix this up a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. This is one of my favorite things about BeamNG is that this thing, like, you can drive cars into the dirt. Like, I mean, like, I don't mean the, well, literally and non-literally. Anyway, other than that, even in the 40s, there wasn't that much in the way of, like, a police package. It was really more, like, I think the police packages started coming out, like, you know, cars like genuine police cars, like, marketed as police cars only, were, I think, 40s? Actually, no, probably early 50s, but I think Ford did put stuff on police cars. Like, they would, like, help market for their police market. So I think they would only put, like, I think it might have, like, higher compression engine, or it might have a, like, I don't know, there wasn't much in terms of performance, especially during, like, the Depression. We were trying to make the cheapest cars possible, or trying to get the cheapest cars possible to make police cars, because towns didn't have a lot of money. But the, ow. Anyway. I think it was in the 20s that they had stuff put on police cars, but the major changes were probably closer to the 50s and late 40s, maybe. Actually, no. Yeah, I would say 40s. It's definitely cool to see how the how things are changing, or how things have changed since then. It's also fun having all of this very much useless knowledge, but talking about it on the channel where you can find at least a couple people that care, so good times, good times. But I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna get this thing on the test track, or performance track, one of these days. But it'll probably be a little while, because I'm a bit busy with the other cars. Anyway, I'll see you next time. We'll probably, I don't know what we have planned for later this week, but it'll be pretty good. See you guys later.